Man, that's pretty out here. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Henry. I am at Cultus Lake in Chilliwack, BC. This is a very popular lake in the summertime. There's a ton of boating out here, so we don't really come here in the summertime to clean because we're going to get run over by a boat. So right now we're at Jade Bay in the boat launch, and yeah, this will be just packed here in the summertime. Lindell Beach is down at the far end. We've done a bunch of cleanup there before. Maple Bay is right there, and I know there's a whole there's a whole bunch of trash there I gotta go get, but I'll come back later on. And then Entrance Bay is just in front of me right here, and then Main Beach is like way down the far end. It's a huge lake. I don't know, it's around 130 feet or so. It's pretty deep, but today we'll be going down to about I don't know, between 40 and 80, doing some cleanup and see what we can find. Got Otto and Karen with me, and there's some historical military boats actually in the water. This used to be a military training base here. So when they wrapped up operations here, they just, I guess they sank everything. So we're gonna see if we can find it. It's down here somewhere. Been looking forward to seeing that actually for quite some time. So anyway, all right, see you guys in the water. Well, instead of the usual music that I play, why don't I walk you through a typical dive that I do. This is going to be an interesting one simply because I've never actually dove at this particular spot before, so I have no idea what I'm going to see. What you see right now during this dive is what I see. This wall actually, or not a wall, but this lake shore bottom dropped off super quick. This is actually very steep. I'm checking my compass bearing to make sure I'm actually heading off to the right direction, and at 36 feet of water, right away, like we're talking within the first 2 minutes of my dive or whatever it is, I find an anchor, like a 10-15 pound anchor. Man, that was annoying. I hate finding stuff that big, that heavy, that quickly, because I got to carry it for the rest of the dive. So as the bottom drops off steeper and steeper very quickly away from me, dropping down, like I know it should top out around 80 feet or so, and then it gets more gradual towards like 110, 130, but it's getting dark. So at some point here, I don't actually know the depth. I did have to deploy my light. And again, I'm running into things that I'm not familiar with because I've never been to this part of the lake before. I'm just kind of having a look around. I am going to retrieve things if I see them, but in the beginning, I'm seeing really big things like this is actually a tire with a concrete anchor, and I just have no interest in carrying this thing for the entire dive, considering I'm only about maybe 5 minutes into my dive. But I'll pick up little things, of course, and this is pretty much at the deepest part of my dive, around 80 something feet, I think. Grab the mask and a solo cup that somebody dropped. And then once I put those away, grab my scooter and I head off again. Definitely a little bit silty, but this is just either silt created by myself or just the minor bit of silt that's reflecting back at me. Another concrete block, like an anchor. You can see the little hoop on it. Picking up more things as I go. Needed both hands, so I had to put my light, attach it to my helmet, because I'm seeing a few more things and I'm grabbing it. And I put those away into my little bag as well too. At this point here, my onion bag is actually just clipped off to my chest D-ring. I haven't deployed my lift bag yet because there just wasn't that much stuff in it. That 10-15 pound anchor that I picked up earlier is actually just clipped off to my waist D-ring. So it's physically attached to me, making me pretty heavy in the water. But that's fine. I knew I was going to clip it off to the lift bag once I deployed it, but I just haven't deployed it yet. Coming across more of these big, I think there were actually big chunks of metal discs. I tried moving one of them and I just couldn't. Here's another concrete filled tire, kind of a homemade anchor. I just knew that was too big and heavy and unwieldy for me to pick up. Here's a trash can lid. I did try to fit this into an onion bag and I realized it wouldn't fit, so I just had to kind of scooter and carry it one hand and use my scooter with the other. found this weird little piggy bank. I don't really know why somebody threw their piggy bank into the lake, but found it. Otto ended up breaking it in the parking lot because he thought it was plastic and it was porcelain, so it shattered. So finally, I deployed my lift bag because things were getting heavy. Clipped off the garbage can lid to it, as well as the bag that I had clipped off to myself. So now I'm actually I'm free of all that debris, and I can put all of this stuff down and go look for trash and then bring things back. Found another little anchor. This is like a little, I don't know, probably like a 5-pounder, I guess. And it still had the little buoy attached to it with all the line. Sometimes I have to make decisions on how I want to handle this kind of stuff. Ended up just because it's actually really difficult to shove all that rope into, because it's floaty, to shove it all into my onion bag. So I ended up just wrapping it all up and tying a little knot and clipping it off. That seemed like the best idea at the time. Here's a little crayfish. Hey, little guy. Ended up finding 2 of these things. These are little. I couldn't tell what it was when I was underwater, but at the surface, I kind of realized they were probably load straps on the back of boats when they're on the trailer. I ended up finding 2 of them. A pair of sunglasses that are pretty trashed. Of course, as I go along, there's just an endless supply of beer cans and beer bottles. Honestly, there was actually a lot more beer cans and beer bottles than I expected, because this is by the boat launch, and I didn't really feel like the boat launch is an area where people would just sit and party and drink. But there was a lot, like, surprisingly, I ended up getting a decent amount, and so did Otto and Karen. I get a lot of people asking me if I see fish. There's one, but I make so much noise underwater between my bubbles, vibration, the scooter, the electronic whining, and there's a couple of crayfish nesting. Hey, crayfish, you shouldn't be drinking beer. It's no good for you. A weird little basket. And more concrete blocks, homemade anchors, or whatever you want to call them, for anchoring boats offshore. There's quite a few of them. I'm running into a silk cloud here, and I know that's not my silk cloud, so I know that Otto and Karen are on the path in front of me. While I was shoving a towel that I found into the onion bag, I found this Gracie Jiu-Jitsu badge. What a weird thing to find in the lake. You just got super pissed and threw your badge into the lake. So here I am in the shallows now. I've done my safety stop. I'm hoping to come out exactly where I want to, which is right next to the dock, which is awesome. That's exactly where I wanted to be. Using a scooter to drag my load in as shallow as I can get it before it bottoms out. And that's the end of my dive. Don't worry, little helmet. I didn't forget you. Oh man, I got water in my suit from turning my head too much. Water went right down my neck, actually quite a bit. I'm quite damp. I think I got water in my scooter this morning, or right now. God, not good, eh? Not good. No, it's still running, but I got to take it home and take it apart and dry it off. Man, electronics and water just don't mix. Okay, let me get out of this. Found some cool stuff. Let me get out of all this and I'll show you. This pile of stuff right here. I think we each got 1 bag or so. I think you guys got 3 bags. Yeah, I got 1. 2. Yeah, I got 1 bag, and then I got 2 giant anchors, or 1 giant anchor and 1 little anchor. We're gonna weigh everything, lay everything out, show you what we got. Man, I'm like wet. My socks are wet, my underwear is wet. Oh God, this is so annoying. So Otto and Karen decided to bring the van just in case it rained. So we're doing everything underneath the awning. How luxurious is that? All right, 119 pounds of trash that we got. Let me show you the pile. Okay, here we go. This is the stash. Okay, so we got, starting from this side, we got a little basket that I picked up, some kind of metal tube, don't know what that is. Got all those dog toys and golf balls. Got all of these beer cans. We got 3 pairs of sunglasses. Got some plastic fragments. Got all those glass bottles right there. Step around this side. Got 1 beach towel. I picked up these 2 straps, and they actually look like what's those straps that hold the boat, the back of the boat to the trailer, because I found them right at the end of that. Then that's the boat launch right there. So I bet you the guy just forgot them and just fell off. Got a pair of shoes, or 1 boot, 1 shoe, whatever. And then this is the cool find for me. I found both of these. 30-pound anchor. Look at the size of this thing. Like, who the heck uses that for boats here? And then the this little smaller anchor. All right, there we go. Park ranger's coming back with some coffee for us. All right, I'm gonna put everything away. I'm gonna bag it all up so the park ranger can take it. But there you go. 119 pounds of trash. And I gotta go dry off, and then I gotta go service my scooter. Oh man, I'm so mad that I got water in it, but there's nothing I can do. So it's still running, so I'm gonna go home, dry everything off, and see what happens. Yikes. Okay, thanks so much for my Patreon supporters, and we'll see you in the next video.